1964, the Automobile Racing Club of America came to Daytona Beach, Florida for the first time. And for the past 45 years, they have been coming back year after year. This is the 46th running of the Lucas Oil Slick Mist 200 from Daytona Beach, Florida, Daytona International Speedway. Hello, everyone. Rick Allen, Phil Parsons, and Ken Schrader with you once again to kick off the 2009 season. Let's get to the nuts and bolts of this. Phil, the field once again extremely impressive.
Boy, it really is. First of all, we've got a guy that's won this race 5 times, Bobby Gerhardt, starting back in the 6th spot. But right in front of him, we have 5 Toyotas, and including a couple guys on row number 2 that really want to get some experience. And that's the guy right there, Michael Annette, who won this race last year. And that 25 car is Joey Logano. Everybody knows that he's going to run the full Sprint Cup Series for Joe Gibbs Racing, trying to get a little more track time here at Daytona in this number 25 Home Depot car. And then we go back to row number 12. On the outside of that row, a 9-time champion here in the ARCA Remax Series, but he's never won this race here at Daytona. And the polar opposite on the inside is probably the greatest driver we've ever seen on 2 wheels. Ricky Carmichael, looking to get some experience, Kenny, here at Daytona and on 4 wheels.
We were very fortunate that Ricky Carmichael drove for us last year in the full Camping World Ace Series. He did a phenomenal job. He's going to drive some truck races this year, and he's running the ARCA race for Kevin Harvick to gain some experience, which when you come here the first time, you need the experience. But I guarantee you one thing, he's going to adapt to Daytona a lot better than Frank would adapt to a Supercross.
They call him GOAT, greatest of all time in
what
the
his
Supercross
competitors
series.
named him.
Yeah, his competitors, his peers. Well, and how about the experience versus inexperience of Daytona?
Anything can happen, whether you're experienced or not here. But when you come to Daytona for the first time, you are not ready. You cannot believe what it's going to be like. You're so pumped up. I've been here I don't know how many years, and I'm still pumped up when I come through Daytona. Yeah,
I know one guy who's really excited, and Wendy Venturini had a chance to talk to him before he strapped in the car. That's the Menards Full Award winner, Justin Lofton, and Wendy Venturini.
It's the first pole for Justin Lofton here at Daytona, as well as the team Eddie Sharp Racing. Justin, not a whole lot of experience at Daytona. Back in 2005, you raced that Rolex 24. What's going on through your head right now about what can possibly happen in today's ARCA race?
Oh, there's a lot of different emotions going on. I'm super excited for the whole ESR team for me to be their first career pole at Daytona. I'm really excited for the number 6 Lofton Cattle Toyota Camry. We put the team together about a month ago, and they've just done an outstanding job. We have Michael Annette's car from last year, so that really reassures, what we did on the pole and what we did in practice. And, I know I have a good race car. I was in watching the video from last year and watching, how he drove the car and his little secrets. So hopefully we can go, put it all together and end up number 1 on lap 80.
A winning driver, a winning race car from last year at Daytona. Let's see if they can do it again here at Daytona. Let's head over to Jim Tretow.
And joining Justin on the front row is 20-year-old Allie Owens, a native right here in Daytona Beach. On Stock Car's biggest stage, in the series' biggest start, you'll help lead them to green, Allie. The important question for you is how are you going to maintain your run and be there at the finish at the front?
Well, first of all, to start out here up front at Daytona, my hometown is amazing. My sponsors, electrifyingcareers.com and Eddie DeHaan, gave me the opportunity to come out here in great equipment, and we put it up, front row, and we hope to stay up there. My Aunt Penny has breast cancer, so we have the breast cancer awareness ribbon on the car this week, and it's just an amazing feeling to be out here and be up front.
Certainly not showing the nerves that certainly are well within sight her as she is again in front of a hometown crowd in the biggest race of the year for the ARCA Remax Series.
Hey, I tell you what, Phil, how amazing is it that a Daytona Beach native up front? That doesn't happen very often.
It really doesn't, but we've got Fireball Roberts and Marvin Pench, both Daytona 500 winners that hailed here from Daytona Beach.
Very cool for Allie Owens. She'll start on the outside of row number 1. It's going to be interesting, the start of this race. Let's get the engines fired. We go for the command.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome Lucas Oil Products Vice President of Sales and Marketing, Sam Dale.
Drivers, start your engines.
Sam Dale may be the only calm person in the whole crowd. The engines are fired. I think everybody was on the edge of their seats, and he delivered that command extremely calm. So we'll see if there is a calm before the storm when they take to the high bank here at Daytona International Speedway. That is coming up next, the green flag, when we come back to Daytona. Coverage of the Lucas Oil Slick Mist 200 is presented by Lucas Oil. Lucas Oil Slick Mist, the fast and easy speed wax. By Remax, outstanding agents, outstanding results. Brought to you in part by Toyota. For the latest on Toyota's drivers and racing information, visit toyotaracing.com. Toyota, moving forward. We're about to move forward here at Daytona Beach, Florida. Gorgeous afternoon, 65 degrees, sunny skies, and just a slight breeze.
Yeah, it has really been cold here this weekend, and finally the weather broke, and we're getting some warmer temperatures.
Now, yesterday in practice, when the race cars were out on the track, coming off of turn number 2, take a look at Ryan Fisher. He's in the back of this pack here in the number 15.
Yeah, Ryan was essentially all by himself there coming off turn number 2 and got a little bit loose, and that's not that difficult to do here, is it?
That's very easy to do, and I talked to a couple of guys, and they said their cars were moving around quite a bit yesterday, so I think from past races, everybody knows to tighten them up a little bit more.
Our Lucas Oil race analysis. The length of this race, 200 miles. That equates to 80 laps. The pit window, somewhere between 50 and 60 laps. Depends on which team you talk to. And then the pit road speed, 55 miles per hour.
Yeah, you see that pit window. That's very critical. Obviously, with an 80-lap race, they can go 50 to 60 laps. They can do this race on one lap. I was talking to one stop. I was talking to Bill Gerhardt right before we came up here to the booth, and he said that if the caution came out on lap number 10, he was going to come in then, that early.
Well, you could make it with the yellows. You know, that could you could run the 70 laps then probably.
A lot of cautions. We take a look now at our Toyota track map of this behemoth, Daytona International Speedway.
You see that 3,000-foot backstretch. You come off turn 2, Kenny, that turn 3 looks like it's 8 miles away.
It does, and when you get down there, it looks like it's flat, and it looks like you're going into a driveway at 200 miles an hour. It's amazing how narrow this whole track is. I mean, when you're 3 wide here, which we'll see a lot of tonight, you got to be paying attention.
And that triangle, you see that little bend at the front start-finish line. That's not a straightaway. That is a turn.
Yeah, I was going to tell you about that. When I came here the first time, 1900-something, it scared the heck out of me. Was that little tri-oval? That was a turn. I don't care what they call it. It's a turn.
Don't let them fool you, folks. The 50s is when this racetrack was built. Take a look at our Menards Pole Award winner, presented by Ansel. Justin Lofton will bring the field to the green flag. What an honor for that young man.
And how exciting is that, knowing that he's got the car that actually won here last year?
Exactly. We take a look at our ARCA Remax starting grid. And again, talking a little bit more about this front row. We've got Justin Lofton that will start on the inside. Allie Owens is going to start on the outside. And we talked about what an honor I think that is for a Daytona Beach native. This would be the dream growing up, to be able to race here at Daytona. And how about starting in front of the field?
Exactly. It's really the dream for every stock car racer all over the country to come here at Daytona. And for Allie, at 20 years old, as you can see her car there on the outside, the 19th, to be on the front row here. What a thrill.
And how about row number 2? And a pretty impressive lineup there for those 2 drivers. We got Michael Annett, who has won 2 out of the last 3 super speedway restricted racetracks. And then on the inside of him, Joey Logano, who everybody's talking about right now, the big name.
You know, Joey's obviously running this race, gets some more laps. I had the opportunity to talk with Joey and his daddy out at Fontana Irwindale a couple weeks ago. They're so excited about the full Nextel Cup deal, or Sprint Cup, but they know that he needs more laps. You know, they were counting on a Busch deal or a nationwide deal. I'm really messed up on my name today. They were counting on a nationwide ride for another year. So this is a very important race for him.
We're riding along with a few different cars today. One of those will be Tim George. He has the Ruby Tuesday on board with him. He'll start 34th in that number 2 car.
We're also going to ride along with our 9-time champion, Frank Kimmel, in the Ansel Menards Ford. Frank will start back in the 24th spot.
On that right here, we're with Patrick Sheltra. He's in the Ferguson Pipe Dodge, who'll be starting 16th. He ran his first ARCA race for us a couple years ago at Pocono.
Talked a little bit about Ryan Fisher with the number 15. You see the baby, I think that's Mum I'm going to go with. So we'll be riding along with that on board today. And we're
also going to ride along with Matt Carter, the Stein Seed Ford, Larry Clement's team. Larry won this championship so many times with Frank Kimmel. They agreed to separate. Matt jumped in this car last year, did a great job. He starts back in the 11th spot.
So we'll be riding along with a few different cars today. And before the green flag flies, let's head back down for some final thoughts with Wendy Venturini.
There's a lot of talk about the caliber of drivers in today's field, but I don't want to overshadow the talented crew chiefs on pit road today. 11 of them are from the Cup Series, one of them being Paul Andrews, Cup Series champion crew chief in years past. Take the raw talent on the racetrack teamed up with the veteran experience of these crew chiefs on pit road today. This ARCA REMAX Series race may just be the most exciting race here for the ARCA Series right here in Daytona. Let's go over to Jim Tretow.
And Wendy, the most celebrated and most experienced crew chief in ARCA is Bill Kimmel. 9 championships with his brother Frank. However, today, Bill Kimmel's not on his brother's pit box for the first time since 1998 and their first championship. Bill's son Will makes his ARCA debut here at Daytona, and he'll be on the pit box for his son, Larry Metters. Frank Kimmel's brother-in-law will call the shots on his pit box. Good to know the Kimmel family stays together. They're pitted next to each other, so indeed, there will still be a family influence, but Bill Kimmel not on Frank's box to make all the calls today. We'll see how that plays out.
Do you think that's big? I mean, Frank Kimmel not having Bill there to calm him down?
I talked to Frank. He said, hey, that's his son in that car. He said, Bill needs to be over there with Will. So Frank was certainly good with it, and obviously a family member over there. And also now he's got a little drafting help possibly later on.